no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last.
And now, Mike's thoughts. My man Baker Mayfield and Tom Brady are going at it. Baker Mayfield and Tom Brady are going head to head. A little bit of brotherly love, as some people might to say. But Baker Mayfield says that his comments about Tom Brady were, quote, taken out of context. They were taken out of context. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Baker Mayfield was on a podcast talking about his time when he came to Tampa Bay. The reason why the coaching staff, the ownership, etc., come out and reached out to Baker Mayfield. And they basically said that, this is Baker Mayfield's words, basically said that Tom Brady held a tight ship. Everybody was uptight and they wanted me to come up there and loosen things up, have some fun. Now, when Baker Mayfield said that, Tom Brady kind of was hush-hush. But then he was announcing at the game, that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game over the weekend. Over live TV, Tom Brady said, well, having fun when you play football is winning Super Bowls. And I know all about having fun. If I wanted to have fun while playing football, I would take my kids to Disney World, end quote. Baker Mayfield ended up saying that the quote was, like his comments were taken out of context. Baker Mayfield, stand on what you believe in, man. Everybody knows that Tom Brady ran this tight ship. Everybody know that Tom Brady was like, it was my way or the highway. We're going to loosen things up. We're going to tighten things up, and we are straight edge people over here. If you believe that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were all uptight when you came in, let us know it, man. Do not back off those comments. I hate when people back off comments. When they're challenged one way or the other, oh, it was taken out of context. Oh, my bad. No, stand on 2 feet, 10 toes down, chest up, said, yeah, I said that. You ran a tight ship. It is what it is. It's not a diss. It's just not Baker's Mayfield. It's not Baker's Mayfield way of leading it. That's basically what I'm saying. Baker Mayfield, do not back down from Tom Brady. Do not back down from anything. It was not taken out of context at all. It wasn't. It's fine. Stand on it, man. Stand on it. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse with the Man Hour Show, the manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. Check out the blog section. But most importantly, in the link below, there's a link to the Discord. Tonight, we will be streaming both Monday night games over there on our Discord, where we got the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Detroit Lions, and then we got the Tennessee Titans take on the Miami Dolphins. So if you'd like to watch those games and you do not get said channel, ESPN, ABC, check out our Discord, bada bing, bada boom. It will be there live, raw, and uncut, because that's where magic happens, is over on the Discord. But guys, happy Monday, happy week 4 of the NFL season, wrapping up tonight. We got a great fact or crap show lineup for you guys. We're going to talk about the Minnesota Vikings. Are they the real deal or are they not? The Denver Broncos, are they truly threats in the AFC? We got the Baltimore Ravens. Are they the best team in the NFL? And Rashid Rice. We're going to talk about his future and the Kansas City Chiefs. Before we get too carried away, we got to welcome some people into the chat. We got to welcome the man, the myth, the legend, a member of the Pigskin Pundits, Mr. John Pebbles in the chat. Says, what up, though? What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? Hope having a grand old day, John. Being safe up there in the Big D. I know ain't nothing but a Diddy party up there. We know. We also got James Frank in the chat as well. James Frank, I'm sorry for your guys. Guys, let's give a moment of silence for James here. They went to Vegas. They went to Vegas. There was a phantom holding call on the Cleveland Browns center. There was a holding call that negated the game-winning touchdown, and they ultimately ended up losing the call. So let's give a moment of silence for the Cleveland Browns and the refs giving their Las Vegas Raiders the win on Sunday. James, trust me, man. I know how you feel. Hope you're having a grand old day. John also says, your boys squeak out another one. Me and the Kansas City Chiefs. No, we just like playing with a little bit of, we like playing from behind. Give us a little bit of challenge there. Patrick Mahomes is officially 12-0 now when being down by 12 points. We got Laura in the chat as well. She says, good afternoon. Skull Nation rise up. Skull Nation's on cloud 9 tonight, or this week, 4-0. Going over to London this weekend to take on the mighty NFL Jets. So good afternoon to you, Laura, as well. Good Lord as well. John says that's Tom's style, as in Tom Brady's. He wants to be tight-nosed. He wants to be grounded and down, right? No fun over here, says Tom Brady. That's just the way it is. James Chamberlain's in the chat as well today. He says, now I'm now 2-0 on my predictions that Baker Mayfield will sweep the NFC East. It would not shock me. The way the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing right now and how the rest of the East is playing, minus the Commanders, it's a very, very, very good possibility. Very good possibility. Madison is in the chat as well. She says, Josh Allen looked like a poo-poo burger. Josh Allen did have a not MVP level of play. I believe my man Mark D said it best on the Saturday pregame show was a set VP is Josh Allen. Well, the set VP did not live up to hype on Sunday Night Football, unfortunately, and they definitely got slacked 100%. James Frank is in the chat, and he says he's still sick from the Browns game. Prayers for James. James says, I'm dying, bro. I'm dying. Listen, James, my shoulder's right here. You can cry on it. You can cry on it. And John is a Raiders fan. He says LMFAO. LMFAO is a great band, by the way. If you haven't checked out LMFAO, great party rock music. Michael Burley's in the chat today as well. He says, no silence for the Browns. Commanders are ready for them. Michael Burley, man, you better be pumping that chest, man. Where did the Commanders come from, guys? Legit. Michael, you were on our show back in June or July, and we're all like, Commanders about, 6-7 wins tops, right? Hell, now we're talking like NFC Championship. We're talking playoff berth. We're talking a playoff win. Man, the Commanders have proven something, guys. The Commanders are the real deal right now. And John says the Commanders have officially impressed me as well. I mean, yeah, the Commanders are playing some good football. Let's not get it twisted. Cheese Young is in the chat, says, go Royals. Yes, sir, baby. Royals are in playoff bound officially. playoff game tomorrow, October 1st, the play-in game. The last September, the last 12, 15 games were a little bit rough, but hey, Royals are in the playoffs, and that's all that matters. Just getting in there. Getting in there. James says, John Peoples-Daniels definitely looks like the real deal. So let's talk a little bit about Jaden Daniels. I coach with a guy that is a huge Washington Commanders fan. He's actually from North Dakota, but grew up in the D.C., Virginia area there. And he told me back in June or July, he's like, look, Jaden Daniels is going to be Rookie of the Year. Not Caleb Williams, not Bo Nix, not whoever else, J.J. McCarthy was there at the time, not Harrison Jr. He said Jaden Daniels. To this day, every day, Jeter lets me know, like, hey, Jaden Daniels is going to win Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year, Jaden Daniels. I was like, slow it down, baby. I said, slow it down, baby. I was like, Neighbors is balling. Harrison Jr. is kind of coming around. Bo Nix is starting to come around. But watching Jaden Daniels, it's hard the last 3 weeks. I've watched the Commanders game twice, each game twice. So I've watched him 6 times in 3 weeks. And Jaden Daniels is the real deal. Jaden Daniels is 100% the front runner for the Rookie of the Year. Hell, Jaden Daniels might win MVP. Jaden Daniels is looking like a damn good pick right now, and the Chicago Bears are probably kicking their ass right now. Kicking their ass. Michael Burlew says the offensive line's working, the kicker's making the kicks, and they just need an average defense, and that's what they got is an average defense. That's the weakest part of the Washington Commanders right now is that defense 100%. 100%. My next guest with Con says, hey, man, what's your channel all about? This is live, raw, uncut NFL talk. We are live every Monday through Friday, 2:30 East Coast time, right here on YouTube. It looks like you're watching on YouTube Shorts, so you can come over to the live stream and watch the full stream. If you click on the profile link, it'll take you to the full stream. We got full screen. We got graphics. We got all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. And Laura says, do not sleep on the Commanders. Listen, I don't think anybody's sleeping on the Commanders right now, Laura, to be honest. I don't think nobody is sleeping on the Commanders right now. Hell, me as a passive Cowboys fan, I got my Cowboys ball right there. See it hanging up by the truck, right by my mama and Papa and me my senior year. Boom, right there. Dallas Cowboys football ball. I'm a passive fan. I'm worried about the Commanders. I'm not worried about the Giants, not worried about the Eagles, self-imploding as we speak. Cowboys, meh, it is what it is. The Commanders, front runners. Every clip says, I hate being a Saints fan. Listen, every clip's back before Andy Reid came to Kansas City. I hated being a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Every year we were 12-4, 13-3, number 1, number 2, number 3 seed in the playoffs, and insert the Indianapolis Colts, insert the Pittsburgh Steelers, first round playoff exit year after year after year at home. So I get it, man. I get it what it's like to be a fan of a team that has so much promise but can never perform. But that's also kind of what you get for having Derek Carr as quarterback. John says, if they continue to play like this, Commanders will win that division. True. But then every clip wants to chomp back. It's like, say, slow it down, baby. He says, every clip says, slow it down. Slow it down, baby. Jaden Daniels might win Rookie of the Year. Jaden Daniels might win many awards, but he is not winning the MVP. But he is good. But he ain't winning no MVP. And Laura says, I agree most definitely. Well, speaking of agree most definitely, it is time to get into the title segment of today's show. And we are going to talk about the one and the only Skulls Nation Minnesota's Vikings. Guys, the Minnesota Vikings are potentially the real deal. The Minnesota Vikings improved to 4-0 this season with their win over the Green Bay Packers on Sunday. Started out hot, what was it, 21-0, and then got up to 28-7, and then the Packers reeled them in a little bit. But they ultimately win. So far this season, they have win over the New York Football Giants at New York, MetLife Stadium. They beat the San Francisco 49ers at home. They beat the Texans at home. And, of course, they went on the road to beat the Green Bay Packers this season. Right now, going into week 5, they're currently ranked 10th in total offense. They're averaging 333 yards per game with an average of 29 points per game. On the downside, they're also ranked 22nd on the defensive side of the ball, giving up 350 yards per game, but they're just letting the opponent score just 14 points per game. They're also 4th in the league in the +3 turnover differential. They have 8 interceptions to 2 fumble recoveries. So, guys, we got to ask the question. Are the Minnesota Vikings actually the real deal? Are the Minnesota Vikings actually front runners in the NFC North? Are the Minnesota Vikings actually a playoff potential NFC championship caliber team? Are they it? And I have to say no. Not because of the 4-0 start. Because I think they're playing really, really good football right now. They've beaten a good 49ers team. They beat a damn good Houston Texans team. They beat an even better Green Bay Packers team. This week they travel to London and they play the Jets. And then they have a bye week. And then they play the Detroit Lions at home. And then they play LA Rams on the road, Colts, Jaguars, Titans, and Bears. Guys, it is a real opportunity that the Minnesota Vikings could be 11-0 going into the Week 12 bye week. It is a real possibility. It is. But people are waiting for the other shoe to drop in Minnesota. Many Minnesota fans that I know is waiting for that other shoe to drop. Every time Minnesota has some type of success, something happens in return. Addison gets hurt. Jefferson gets hurt, right? Dante Culpepper blows his knee apart. Adrian Peterson beats his kids, right? There's always pros and cons. Every good comes with the bad in Minnesota. It seems like. So are the Vikings the real deal? I have to say no. Because of history, right? We always talk about how the Jets jet. How can the Jets stop from being the Jets? And we basically said they can't. It's an organizational thing. It starts from the top. And the Minnesota Vikings are always going to Viking at some point during the season. They're going to shoot themselves in the foot at some point in the season. The last team to start 11-0, Philadelphia Eagles, right? Actually, they were 10-1. They had an epic second half collapse. Yes, they still made the playoffs, but they got their ass whooped by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs. Are they the real deal? I can't say that yet. Even if they go 5-0, 6-0, 11-0, I'm still not going to be sold on the Minnesota Vikings. So guys, in the comments below, are you sold on the Minnesota Vikings? Are they the real deal? Do you think they're NFC North champion bound? Are they playoff bound? Can they get a playoff win? Let me know in the comments below. So let's go ahead and jump into the chat here. And Laura's giving us a skull with the purple hearts. I love it. She is a huge Vikings fan living in Oklahoma City. How that happens, who knows? There's only 3 things in Oklahoma: Steers, queers, and Vikings fans, right? I'm kidding. James Frank says the Vikings, the real deal. They are the real deal. They'll be battling the Lions for the top spot in the NFC North. So James is basically saying this week they got the Jets in London. They got the bye week, and then they got the Detroit Lions at home. So, James, if I'm reading your comment right, week 7 game versus the Detroit Lions could matter the division. I mean, it's a very real possibility, but I personally think that the Detroit Lions are a little bit overrated. A little bit overhyped. But James says the Vikings are the real deal. Michael Burlew says, can be comeback player of the year when you never had a good year before, asking for a friend named Sam Darnold. So, Michael, Mark D and I sat on Saturday's pregame show, and we kind of talked about comeback player of the year. Apparently, Sam Darnold is not eligible for comeback player of the year. I have yet to look up what the new qualifications for comeback player of the year are, but I feel like you have to have a season-ending injury and then come back from that injury. So as of right now, as I know, Sam Darnold is not qualified for that award. Yes, he was backup for 4 or 5 years and finally burst onto the scene, but now he's not qualified for it. James says they are the real deal. They've taken out 3 big teams, but beware of Darnold. You can't start he can start Darnolding at any time. So like when the Jets, Sam Darnold is going to Sam Darnold, says James. So he is not sold on the Minnesota Vikings. He is saying they're not the real deal. Laura says for the NFC North, they are the real deal, but everything else, no. So Laura, being the most realistic Vikings fan that I know right now, is saying, hey, the Vikings are going to win the NFC North. They're going to win the North. Packers, get out of here. Lions, overrated. Chicago Bears, the Bears have a shot. But playoff win? Slow it down, baby. Mark D, speaking of Mark D is in the chat. Guys, join us every Saturday night for a pregame show, about 2-hour pregame show. We break down each and every team, giving away how your team can win that particular game. He says, what up? And he says this revenge game for Sam Darnold against the Jets this weekend. Is it really a revenge game? I mean, it should be a thank you for letting me walk game. Thank you for trading me for the Carolina Panthers game, because if the Jets just would have let him rot, kept him in there for another year or 2 or 3, the Vikings, the Sam Darnold would not be here. Let's just be honest. He would be on his couch, eating potato chips, making a baby. Let's just say that. John says, when do they play Washington? I do not have the schedule pulled up. Let me pull that up for you, John. Let me pull that up for you. I don't know if they even play Washington, to be honest, because I don't know if they do. But you're probably right. They probably do play. No, the Vikings do not play the Washington Commanders. So that is out the window there, Johnny boy. The Commanders do not play the Vikings. Laura says, it's coming when we start good. Something goes wrong, and when it goes wrong big time. That is kind of what I'm talking about. I am waiting for the other shoe to drop for the Minnesota Vikings. I am waiting for that other shoe to drop. Now, I gotta want to wish any ill will. I think the Vikings are a great story. I like what they're doing. I enjoy everything what the Vikings are doing right now. Beating the 49ers. Oh my God, I love this so much. Beating the Houston Texans. Oh, my heart was so full of joy. And then beating the Green Bay Packers. Suck it, Packers fans. Don't worry about the cheesehead. My wife's a cheesehead. Get that out of here. But suck it. It's at some point it's all going to fall apart. Mark says, don't forget the Chargers Charger as well. True. John Parham is in the chat. He says Jaden Daniels or Marvin Harrison Jr. will be Rookie of the Year. I don't think Harrison Jr. will become Rookie of the like of the Year just because he's not going to do that great, to be honest. But then John also says Minnesota will definitely make the playoffs. If you win the North, you're going to win the playoffs. That is just the way it is. John has to go back to work. Raider Nation for life. Have a good day at work, John. We'll catch you tomorrow, big guy. Be safe out there. John says, I'd say so, but you got a point. I didn't see that comment pop up as it come up, but I don't know what you're talking about out there, John, but definitely feel free to chime back in 100%. James says, I mean, Flacco was sitting on the couch and came back and won Player of the Year. So that award last season for Joe Flacco was absolutely not warranted at all. He came out and he won, 3 out of 4 games? Yes, he threw like 8 touchdowns, but also had like 5 interceptions. He was retired. What did he come back for him? No team wanting him. Like, that's basically, he retired because nobody wanted him, right? So just to say that I'm glad that the rule has changed now, because Joe Flacco did not deserve comeback player of the year last year at all. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Michael Burlew says, I still say it's the Lions divisions. Vikings might get a wild card and they'll be one and done. I could see that. A lot rides on the Detroit Lions tonight, right? Obviously, in the NFL, we are the prisoner of the moment, right? We see a shiny object, we're like, whoo, right? But back over here, we still got the Detroit Lions. Still got the Detroit Lions kind of rumbling, kind of stirring alike a little bit. And once the Vikings start to go this, you might see the Lions go crunch on them and they're like, oh, shiny object, right? It is all about the momentum. And obviously the Lions have a good team. I'm not saying that they're a bad team, but I'm saying they've had one winning season in the last 6, whatever it's been. The Lions don't have that winning pedigree, and Dan Campbell, the habitual risk it or no biscuit type of person himself, is the Riskets performed for them well last season, but this year the Riskets are kind of like, But I can concur. Welcome to Miami, Laura. What are you even talking about? James says, I sound like a Browns fan. Listen. It is what it is. Mark D is clarifying the comeback player of the rule now, saying you have to come back from an injury. So he's saying Aaron Rodgers will more than likely win comeback player of the year. Not if he throws for 1 for 7 for 7 yards again. James Frank says Lions on primetime are crazy good. They are. They're on primetime tonight. We'll see how good they actually are. Laura says I'm just waiting for all the healthy on the field and see what happens. It was nice seeing Addison back on the field last night for the Vikings. And James thinks like, nah. Nicholas Jamar Chubb will win comeback player of the year. Well, James, I understand you are a Browns fan, but we have yet to see Mr. Nicholas Jamar Chubb on the field. So to win the award, you have to be on the field, but we will see. So can you get injured during the season and then come back and then win the award? Because if so, Isaiah Pacheco, he'll be out 6, 7, 8 weeks with a broken leg and then come back and rush for 1,000 yards. That's comeback player of the year status in my book. It is what it is. But guys, are the Vikings the real deal? That is the question of the day. Are the Vikings the real deal? With that being said, guys, every Monday right here on Man Hour NFL Talk, live 2:30 East Coast time, every Monday through Friday, we do a beautiful thing called Fact or Crap. I've been trolling the old interwebs, been on Twitter machine, been on Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, all the social medias, out there running my mouth, talking that shit like you guys can do here each and every day. I enjoy it. But I've been out there, I've been testing the waters. And I'm going to ask you guys if something is a fact or a crap. It is very, very simple. I will put out a statement out there, and you say fact, I agree with it, Buck, you're right on, or crap, that's doo-doo. You're stupid. You're a clown, right? Fact or crap. So the first fact or crap of the day is we got to talk about the one and only Denver Broncos. We got to talk about the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos have improved to 2-2 on this young NFL season. They have wins the last 2 weeks over the Buccaneers and the Jets, respectively. Right now, they have the second-ranked defense in the NFL, giving up just 256 yards per game and just 14 points per game. Last 2 weeks alone, they had 7 sacks on Baker Mayfield with 9 hits and 5 sacks on Aaron Rodgers with 14 hits. So, guys, fact or crap, are the Denver Broncos a threat in the AFC? As we know, they have a good defense. And defense can win you a lot of football games. Hell, a defense can win you championships, a.k.a. 2000 Baltimore Ravens. However, along with the second-ranked defense, they have the 26th-ranked offense. They're averaging just 266 yards per game, under 15 points per game. Yes, I know, Mark D. Do not bite off my head. Bo Nix is still a rookie, and this is only his 4th game into his NFL career. He is improving. First week, he had 138 yards passing versus the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, by the way, the Seattle Seahawks have the first-ranked defense in the NFL right now. Week number 2, he had 246 yards passing versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, by the way, they have the 4th-ranked defense in the NFL. Game number 3, 216 yards passing versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the 18th-ranked defense. And last night, he just had 60 yards passing versus the Jets, which is a 3rd-ranked defense. So he's had a slaughter of games this season versus top-ranked defense. The true telltale sign of the Denver Broncos is going to be the next 3 games. Yes, I understand that they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers played bad. Let's just be flat out honest. They played bad that game. Every game, a NFL team forgets to show up, right? It was the Denver Broncos versus the Miami Dolphins last season when they got like 80 points scored on them, right? Every time a team forgets to show up. The next 3 games will be very, very telling for them because they play the Raiders, the Chargers, and Saints on a Thursday night football game. Through 2 very tough divisional games, and the Saints are a team that shown very good spurts of life. So, guys, fact or crap, are the Denver Broncos a threat in the AFC? I have to say crap. Not because the defense isn't good, not because Bo Nix is going to improve, because I don't trust Sean Payton. I think the weak link of the Denver Broncos right now is Sean Payton. Let's look at the game versus New York Football Jets yesterday. It was 2nd and 5, and they're at the 30. The Jets had 1 timeout left, and they're trying to milk the clock. Sean Payton calls a rollout dump pass to a receiver. Luckily, Bo Nix made a hell of a hell of a pass, and then the receiver made a hell of a catch to just drop down, right? The very next play, 3rd and 5. All you need to do is get a first down or just run the clock down a little bit. What does he do? He runs another rollout to the same side where he just got pressure from, and Bo Nix gets sacked. The reason why the Broncos will not be a threat in the AFC in general, not only the West, but the AFC in general, is because of Sean Payton. Sean Payton he hasn't shown shit to me in the last 2 seasons. He's a below average coach, in my opinion. So, guys, fact or crap, do you guys think that the Broncos are a legitimate threat in the AFC? Jim Powell starts off the chat and says crap. Crap, the Broncos are not a threat. Jim Powell is the CEO of the Pigskin Pundit, so guys, be like John and hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. And Jim says, I don't care what the scenario is. It is crap, crap, crap. James Frank says they are most definitely aren't a threat. This is so crap. Even give the old poopy emoji. Crap. Casey Morgan's in the chat. Speaking of a pigskin punt, another pigskin punter here is in the chat. He says anything about the Broncos is crap. They're coming in last in the AFC West. Wow. And then Mark D says fact. Remember, I said they win 9 games. You did say that, Mark. But also, you were picking the Jets to beat the Denver Broncos on Saturday, and I had to talk you out of it. I'm like, hey, man, root for your team. Root for your team. But hey, a dog's ass gets shined on twice a day. Jim Powell, 2023. Laura says crap. Jack Bourbon's in the chat. Sorry, Jack Barron says Bills and Bucks. Bills and Bucks what? Michael Burlew says crap. A decent kicker in New York, and they are 1-3. we don't talk about their defense. Also, on the flip side of that coin, Michael, if the Broncos had a decent kicker, the Jets kicker doesn't have a chance to win the game because now they're down by 4 points and they need a touchdown. So that conversation can go both ways. Trying to be devil's advocate here, that conversation can go both ways. Kickers had a shit show, right? The Jets kicker missed 2 50-plus yarders, and the Broncos kicker missed a 45 yarder, right? It is what it is. Jim says Bo Nick's dad looks in the mirror and see Justin Herbert's dad. Mark says their schedule does get easier. So, since you played a gauntlet of the schedule earlier in the season, right? Playing the Bucks and playing the Jets, right? And then you play the Raiders, Chargers, and the Saints on Thursday the next few weeks. I don't think their schedule gets easier, Mark. Because they still play all of the AFC West, right? You play the Chiefs twice, you play the Chargers twice, you play the Raiders twice. All going to be very competitive games, all going to be good games. They still got to play the Saints. They still got to play a decent Colts team. They still got to play the Bengals. Bengals always start slow and they get hot toward the end of the season. You play them like week 16, I think it is. And the Browns are still going to get Nick Chubb back, and they're going to figure out their defense. Plus the Falcons. I don't think their schedule gets any easier, Mark, to be honest. And if I remember correctly, that's why I said the Broncos were only going to get about 5-6 wins, was because of their hard schedule. Jack Barnes says the Jets overlooked the Broncos. But he does say crap, bro. Crap. Sugar Tumar is in the chat. He says, I'm going to say one thing. Sean Payton has never had less than 7 wins. Sean Payton, Sugar, has never started a rookie quarterback either. Times are turning there in Denver. Times are changing. And Derek says they're not a threat in the AFC West. James Frank says, so Kevin Scafani just got a younger Sean Payton. Probably. Casey says the Bills did not show up last night. They did not. And Mark D, we were going to talk about Rashid Rice here in a minute. And no, we're not going to talk about the karma or whatever. But guys, factor crap, are the Broncos a threat in the AFC? Let us know. Next up. We got the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens went out and they flexed on the Buffalo Bills last night. After starting 0-2, they have now rattled off 2 wins in a row, and they've dominated both of those games with wins over the Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills. I know the scoreboard's not going to show domination of the Dallas Cowboys, but they dominated the Dallas Cowboys. In the last 2 games, the Baltimore Ravens have rushed for 271 yards versus the Buffalo Bills and 274 yards versus the Dallas Cowboys. So guys, fact or crap, are the Baltimore Ravens the best team in the NFL? When we look at the Baltimore Ravens, guys, all offseason, we were talking about how great they were going to be with the additional of Derrick Henry. Yes, they lost Patrick Queen. Yes, they lost Stone and some other defensive pieces, but they were all worried about Derrick Henry adding into that great offense and just running down people's throats. And the last 2 games, that's exactly what they've done. They rushed for 271 yards versus the Buffalo Bills and 274 yards versus the Dallas Cowboys. In the 2 losses this season, they still rushed for 151 yards versus the Las Vegas Raiders. However, Derrick Henry had 1 touch in the 4th quarter with a 10-point lead. And then they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs when they rushed for 185 yards, and Derrick Henry just had 2 touches in the 4th quarter. So factor crap, are the Baltimore Ravens the best team in the NFL? And I have to say fact. I think it is a fact because they do have one of the best running backs in the NFL. they do have one of the top athletic quarterbacks in the NFL. And when you look at the best team in the NFL, you look during regular season. Baltimore Ravens are a great regular season team. Lamar Jackson is pretty damn good in the regular season. Derrick Henry, pretty damn good in the regular season. The rest of that defense, pretty good in the regular season. The Baltimore Ravens have a really, really good team on paper. And now they're starting to translate that into the field. Yes, they went through a few growing pains the first 2, 3, 4 weeks of the season. Maybe they're already past that. Maybe their growing pains are now over. But right now, if they played the way they played last night, they're going to beat the Buffalo Bills. They are going to beat the Miami Dolphins. They are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They are going to beat the 49ers. There is no team in the NFL that can hang with the Baltimore Ravens if they played the way they played last night. But in hindsight, this is a regular season conversation. This is going into week 5, into week 6. Are they the best team right now? Yes, they are the best team right now. But much like the Denver Broncos, they have a problem with coaching. Harbaugh, when the game gets tight, hit butthole puckers, and he's a shit-ass head coach. When they come to the playoffs versus a team like the Kansas City Chiefs that can put up points at will if they want, they think they got to go toe and default everything they did. So right now, yes, the Baltimore Ravens are the best team in the NFL. As a Kansas City Chiefs fan, I am saying this. I do not want to play the Buffalo Bills right now. Going into October and into November, I do not want to play the Baltimore Ravens. Middle in December and beyond, yeah, give me them. But right now, it is a fact they are the best team in the NFL. So guys, fact or crap in the comments below. Are they the best team in the NFL? Fact or crap? Let me know. Casey Morgan says crap. They are not the best team in the NFL. So Casey, if they are not the best team in the NFL, who is the best team right now? Oh, and he actually already answered that. And he says, in my opinion, the best team at the moment are the Vikings till someone beats them. They are the top threat in the NFL. With Baltimore teams, they just need to force Lamar to throw, and they'll be dead in the water. Not wrong. That is how you beat the Baltimore Ravens. Get them from running the ball, make them into a passing team. Bada bing, bada boom. They usually shit the bed. Look what happened in the playoffs for the Kansas City Chiefs. And Laura says, LOL, yes. I put one up at halftime yesterday during the Vikings and Packers game. Oh, a missing person alert. But Laura says, crap. The Ravens are not the best team in the NFL. And James says, nah, no way, Jose. They are not the best. They are up there, though, but they are not the best. Wow. I was honestly expecting you guys all to say fact after last night. Derek's in the chat as well, and he says his brother sent him a note, run Henry up the middle. Yeah, listen, 2 hard balls don't make a right, Derek, so I doubt he did that. And James says Lamar threw some dots during that Bills game. Yeah, he did. He had, 5 or 6 great throws. But 5 or 6 great throws during a playoff game is not going to win that playoff game. I'm just saying. Guys, fact or crap, are the Baltimore Ravens the best team in the NFL? Speaking of the best team of the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs played a game last night. They moved to 4-0 with the win over the Los Angeles Chargers. But during that battle in the first quarter, Rashee Rice gets tackled by Patrick Mahomes, and many reports have said he has torn his ACL. I have not heard anything about the MRI results yet. It was supposed to happen this afternoon. I have not heard anything. So if you guys have heard something, let me know. But everything points to a torn ACL. So guys, fact or crap, do the Kansas City Chiefs need to go out and get a receiver to replace Rashee Rice this season? So far, guys, Rashee Rice has had a pretty spectacular 2024 campaign. In 3 games plus, he had 24 catches for 288 yards with 2 touchdowns. Back in 2023, he had 938 yards on 7 touchdowns with 79 catches. Rashid Rice is quickly becoming one of the top receivers in the NFL and hands down the Kansas City Chiefs' #1 threat right now. So, fact or crap, do the Kansas City Chiefs need to go out and get a wide receiver? I think it is crap. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are just fine. Why are they just fine? The Chiefs have a receiver on the roster that is still on IR that is arguably a top 10 receiver in the NFL, and Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown has yet set foot on the Kansas City Chiefs field for them yet this season. They still have Hollywood Brown. They still have Sky Moore. If he can learn how to catch the ball, they still have Sky Moore. On the flip side of that, the Kansas City Chiefs have been known out to go get a receiver midseason. They have known to go out and get a receiver. Tooney from 2 years ago, McCall Hardman last season. So they have gone out and done this before. But I think it's crap. I do not think the Kansas City Chiefs need to go out and get a receiver. Look at 2023 campaign. Did anybody know about Rashid Rice? Did anybody know about Sky Moore? Did anybody know about Justin Ross? The Kansas City Chiefs had one of the worst wide receiving cores in 2023, and Patrick Mahomes made them better throughout the season. Yes, there might be a little bit of a learning curve, but he's going to get them up to par. He's going to get Juju. He's going to get Hollywood Brown. He's going to get Sky Moore. He's going to get Xavier Worthy, etc. They're all going to step up and they're going to be fine. It is a crap. I do not think they need to go out and get a receiver. But if they were to entertain that idea, if they were to entertain the idea of going out and getting a receiver, there are 4 potential receivers that I think that could be a decent pickup. If the Tennessee Titans lose tonight to the Miami Dolphins, DeAndre Hopkins could be on the trade market. The Chiefs could offer some type of draft capital to D-Hop and bring him in there. The Jacksonville Jaguars, obviously not going to do much this season. Christian Kirk. They could go out and get a receiver like Christian Kirk. I think he would be a great fit for the Kansas City Chiefs as well. Cleveland Browns and Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is just, he has 1 year left on his deal. He wants to get paid. He wants to get those dollar bills, y'all. Also wants to win a ring. Might take a little discount to come, or the Browns could, get a first round pick for Amari Cooper, send him to the Chiefs, bada bing, bada boom, when that ring could part ways. Also, another receiver that I could potentially keep my eye on is Deontay Johnson from the Carolina Panthers, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So if the Chiefs decide to go out and go that route, they have done it before the last 2 seasons, actually. Look out for names for like D-Hop from the Tennessee Titans, Christian Kirk from the Jaguars, Amari Cooper from the Browns, and of course Deontay Johnson from the Panthers. But I think it is a crap. They don't need a receiver. They might want one. They might go out and get one, but they don't need one. So guys, fact or crap, do the Kansas City Chiefs need a receiver moving forward if Rashid Rice is definitely out for the season? Casey says, go back to the KC game. Lamar could have won the game if he could hit his 2 open receivers twice. Yeah, that is fact. Missed 2 wide open receivers in the end zone. James Frank says, Amari Cooper to KC. For what? I don't know, but I think it happens. Correct me if I'm wrong, James, but I believe Amari Cooper just restructured his deal to have $25 million guaranteed in his contract this season. So all of his money for this year is guaranteed money. But Amari Cooper to the Kansas City Chiefs would be nice. And I think the Chiefs would be willing to give up a first-round draft pick for a receiver like Amari Cooper in the gentleman's agreement that a contract will be worked out next season, right? Because I don't think the Chiefs are going to give up a first-round pick for Amari Cooper for a rental season for 9 games or whatever it is, right? 10 games left. I don't think that is going to happen. I think Amari Cooper would come in and would need some type of long year deal. Laura says, crap. Don't you have Worthy? They do have Xavier Worthy, but Xavier Worthy is a raw talent. He is a raw talent, and he is going to take time to develop. So maybe by week 13, he might be able to fill the spot of Rashid Rice. But these next 9 weeks is very, very critical for the Kansas City Chiefs. Casey says Rice is done from the season for what I've looked at and what I'm saying. Fact. He's saying fact that the Chiefs need to go out and get a receiver right now. Casey also says that Worthy is just a gimmick receiver, not a receiver number one. See, Casey, I would have said that week 1 and week 2. But last night, I saw a route where he did a hitch and go. He was double coverage, and he was wide open. Patrick Mahomes hit him in the money. Hit him right in the hands. Like, very few receivers just... So, speed kills, right? Tyreek Hill is a terrible route runner. But he had quickness and like he had speed, and Patrick Mahomes knows how to use that. Now, I'm not saying he's a number one receiver right now, but give him a couple years, give him this season, he could definitely be a number one receiver depth, right? AOL Kid 121 says they have no wide receiver depth. Any more injuries and they are toast. But you see, AOL Kid, that is where you're wrong. The Kansas City Chiefs do have receiver depth. They actually cut a fairly good receiver in Tooney this offseason because they do have so much depth. If you look at the roster right now, they have Xavier Worthy, they have Justin Watson, they have Juju, Sky Moore, McCall Hardman, and Hollywood Brown. There's 7 receivers right there on the roster, and they might bring up they might activate a receiver from the practice squad, right? They have depth, and they have good depth. That is why people were so high on the Chiefs three-peat this season, was because of the depth. Last year, we were worried about the receiver core. What, the most drops in the NFL, right? Not a solid number one receiver going into week 15. Who's our guy? Who's our guy? Who's our guy? This year's a little bit different. Now we're worried about the running back room. If Carson Steele fumbles one more time, I swear to effing God, I'm going to drive up to Indianapolis, Indiana, and smack his mom. I'm kidding. Casey Morgan says, no one wants to know about Sky Moore. He was a disappointment pick. Sky Moore has a bunch of potential. I just don't... He has potential, but right now his confidence is shot. You get him into the game and force feed him the ball 4 or 5 catches, his confidence is going to go up in Sky, and Sky Moore will be A-okay. Derek says, crap. Casey doesn't need a receiver if Kelsey gets going. And I forget who it was. It may have been James Chamberlain. In the chat today, I said, is Kelsey a player that needs to step up? And I think Jason Kelsey is eventually going to step up and going to have a good season. So fantasy owners, don't sweat it yet. Casey says, I want to see Cooper and Red and Gold. Say it again. I want to see Mari Cooper, Red and Gold, baby. It would be nice. It would be nice to have a big body number one receiver. James says, I don't want draft picks for the Browns. I want old line. You're not going to get our old line. We might send Juwan Taylor over there. James Frank says that's valid. Worthy will be a beast. I think I give him time. I think he will be a beast. Casey says Chiefs won a Super Bowl with Juju as number one receiver, then won a Super Bowl with the worst receiving core in the league with the most drops passes. The Chiefs will do just the Chiefs will do what they always do to adjust and win. Exactly what I just said, Casey. You are spot on, man. Spot on. James says, nah, you'll all be okay. You got Kareem back. You'll be okay in the running back room. I know I know he's older, but he's still a beast. Kareem Hunt played lights out last night. coming from the practice squad, being a third running back. I actually just looked at the depth chart. They have Carson Steele as the fourth running back now. Thank you. Kareem Hunt as number 1. Plus, we forget Clyde's Edward-Helaire is due to come back from IR this week as well. So definitely having right. And James says Casey Morgan, talking to Casey, says he definitely deserves a ring, that man Hart, meaning Amari Cooper, right? So guys, fact or crap? Do the Chiefs need to go out and get a receiver? Speaking of fact or crap, here on this Monday edition, guys, we are going to start something new. We are going to start something new on this beautiful Mondays, and we're going to call it MVP Mondays. So every Monday, I am going to post an image like this on our beautiful Facebook page and in our channel chat that basically says, who is this week's Monday MVP? And this week's MVP, we have 4 candidates. Where's my paper at? We have 4 candidates. So looking at the emojis below, like we got the wow face from Nico Collins, laughy emoji for Jordan Addison, angry face for Joe Flacco, and the heart emoji for Derrick Henry. So guys, in the emoji tab of your Facebook page, or if you're listening to us on YouTube, give us an emoji. Who is this week's Monday's MVP? So Derrick Henry, the heart emoji. Derrick Henry rushed for 199 yards rushing last night, had 1 rushing touchdown, should have been 2, but he fumbled it in the end zone, and had 1 receiving touchdown as well. Next up is Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco came in relief for the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, throwing for 16 for 26 for 168 yards for 2 touchdowns, leading the Colts into a very fashionable victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Next up, we have the wow emoji. That is Nico Collins. Nico Collins come out and had 12 catches for 151 yards with 1 touchdown for the Houston Texans on Sunday versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Texans did win over the Jaguars 24-20. And number 4 is the laughy emoji, and that is Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison come back from his week 1 injury versus from the New York Football Giants, racking up 3 catches, 72 yards with 1 tutty. So guys, who is this week's Monday MVP? Is it Derrick Henry, Joe Flacco, Jordan Addison, or Nico Collins? Let us know in the comments below. You can also go over to the Facebook page and vote as well. But right now on our Facebook channel, Derrick Henry is leading the way. Derrick Henry is definitely leading the way. But guys, that is going to be it for today. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Until then, we out.